This is my official Roshi stick. Actually, it's my feather duster. Here, you can point that fan. That's comfortable. I'll get over here. Good to see everyone. Well, Chris is back from his travels, and some of our other local scuba folks are still on summer vacation. School has started here again for my daughter, so I'm up every morning running her off to school. But today is Saturday here. I think it's still Friday where most of you are, traveling across time. This is me. Hello. I'm a little bit in my summer wear today. This is a typical Japanese summer attire right here. Nengyoku is our Ino today on our Ino team. Lovely. If any of other folks would ever like to join our Ino team, and I see we have a couple of other members here. Tokan and Onkai are on there, and some of our Yon is there. But if anyone else would ever like to jump in and give it a try, it's not so hard. No harder than, as I say, singing Sinatra's My Way at the karaoke. But, oh, okay, a little more practice than that. But, our theme today is still solving more of all your problems. Really, I'm not fooling. So that'll be our topic a little later. In the meantime, if you've been here before, you know what to do. And if it's your first time, just follow along. One second, give me a second. Got to put away the broom. Oh, I already lit the incense. Kind of senior moment here. Okay, pretend I didn't do that yet. Okay, I'm now, okay. All right, I'm now lighting the incense. All right.
The heart of the perfection of great wisdom, Sutra. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, awakened one of compassion in Prajnaparamita, the deep practice of perfect wisdom, perceived the emptiness of all five conditions and was freed of suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Oh, it is precisely emptiness, emptiness precisely form. Sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are also like this. O Shariputra, all things are expressions of emptiness, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, neither waxing nor waning. Thus emptiness is not form, not sensation nor perception, not formation nor consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, nor object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, no into ignorance, no old age and death, no cessation of old age and death, no suffering, nor cause or into suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no gain, no gain. Thus bodhisattvas live this Prajnaparamita with no hindrance of mind, no hindrance, therefore no fear, far beyond all delusion. Nirvana is already here. All past, present, and future Buddhas live this Prajnaparamita and realize supreme and complete enlightenment. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is the sacred mantra, the luminous mantra, the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra, by which all suffering is clear. This is no other than truth. Therefore set forth the Prajnaparamita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisawaka. Anya Shinyo. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, reality existing right here now. In reciting the heart of the Perfection of Great Wisdom Sutra, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha, Honored One, the historical Buddha and teacher, and to those ancestral teachers, Eihei Dogen, Honored One, Soji Keizan, Honored One, all successive Honored Ones up until Zui Gaku Rinpo, Honored One, and Gudo Wafu, Honored One, and to all other Honored Ones throughout history, same yet diverse Honored Ones whose names have been forgotten or left unsaid. We also dedicate these efforts to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to all awakened ones and teachers in all places and times. We especially seek tranquility and well-being for all creatures now suffering or ill in health. May they be serene through all their ills. May their lives be at peace and wisdom pervade the darkness of ignorance. We dedicate our hopes and aspirations to all victims of war and violence and natural events, to the injured and to all families touched by these tragedies, to the healing of hatred in all countries and among all peoples, to the wisdom and compassion of our world leaders, to the peace of the world and harmony of all beings. Thus, let the harmful effects of words, thoughts, and actions be dispelled, and compassion bloom in perpetual spring. May we all realize and live the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. All Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Prajna, Paramita,
Tozan? Kinhin. We will have Zazen and a little talk. I'm all tangled. Wait a second. Okay. Our Zendo has to go wireless at some point. Can everyone hear? If you can, Simon says touch your nose. Touch your ears. Good. Simon says did not say that. Good. For thousands of years, maybe millions, maybe since human beings first appeared, maybe even before, for our ancient ancestors, there have been times when individuals have had such a feeling of, let's say, wholeness and dropping away of their separate individuality, that all conflict, all fear, all friction dropped away. And what remained in that wholeness was, shall we say, something that is impossible to know conflict, because, how shall we say, something so one cannot have conflict because there is not two. You need two to tangle, to have tension, two to fight. And in one that is so one, all fighting, all friction is impossible. Maybe even visions of our little life and death can be replaced by a wholeness that flows on and on before, during, and after our little lives. I often use the traditional image of the waves which rise on the sea and float along for a while, and then the waves vanish, crash on the shore, but the waves were just the ocean all along, and the ocean flows on and on before, as the wave, after the wave. But since the wave was the ocean, the wave has gone nowhere. It always was. Now, is that a legitimate way for us to experience ourselves? I think for thousands and thousands of years, people have experienced this, and it is at the very root of being a Buddhist, and also many other religions, even some who are not religious at all. Maybe you at various times have experienced such a thing, but is it a legitimate way for us to experience ourselves? I think for the first time in human history, we have a way to understand this that is perfectly, shall we say, simple, and backed up by our modern understanding of how the brain works and who we are. And for thousands of years, people have turned to mystical and religious experiences to explain this, because that's all they had. But we can also explain this in very, very simple terms that I like to say you could actually put it in a high school textbook. It's not much more complicated. And it's this. You know, we think we're looking out our eyes and it's like a window out into the world, but actually the eyes are something very different. They're receivers of signals from something I believe is out there. I'm not such an idealist that I think the world is all my dream, but the photons enter the eyes, little packets of energy. We're not looking out a window. The eyes are receptors of these little signals of data from something outside us that is turned into electrical chemical signals and travels up to the brain, where we create and experience a world. I like to say there is no beautiful green tree out there. I think something's out there that's like a tree, but the experience of green takes our eyes to interpret that and change it into a color which we experience and judge it green and beautiful between our ears. I think there's a world out there, don't get me wrong, but our experience of it is a model we create. Science backs this up. There is no doubt at this point. It is a model created in various portions of the brain that simulates for us in a usable and digestible way, a world where we're living. And part of that is to experience ourselves as separate from everything else. And part of that is to assign qualities to everything. Some things we love and some things we do not. Some things we're ambiguous about. Some things we call a tree and some things we call a mountain and some things we call the stars. And then there is us, who we feel stands separate from it all. And we do, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're just that much of a dream, that there is no you there, but that's just your wave nature. There's nothing wrong at all with experiencing yourself as the ocean as well. You can replace the model in between your ears with a perfectly justifiable, scientifically valid, philosophically understandable, usable, practical model of an alternative vision in which you are all things, in which the things that seem to stand separate from you are also just projections of you and you of them. You are one thing manifesting as all the individuals. And I like to say, for that reason, that part of our experience in Zen is that there is not just a mountain and you over here seeing the mountain. There's not just a star in the sky and you down here looking up at the star in the sky, but we can experience that the mountain is you mountaining and you are the mountain youing. Who's my victim here? Let's take Bion. Bion is Jundo Bioning, and Jundo is Bion Jundoing. We can just experience this, and Zazen has been a tool for thousands of years to let people do so. But when we experience the other side of who we are, which is perfectly valid, perfectly as real as the other model, all the tensions and conflicts drop away in the wholeness, because one that is beyond one cannot have division and conflict and anything but peace, because it is only one piece. It's only when it's broken into separate pieces that we have the tensions, the conflict, the wars. And that wholeness is where all your problems vanish. Because you vanish. Not that you vanish and disappear, don't get me wrong. You vanish and become so whole that no problem is possible. And yet, as you've heard me say many times, we still live in this world where there is so much suffering because of so much division. Last week, one I failed to mention was the war. I wish I could take that away, the war in Ukraine. We have so many folks who are personally experiencing that, and I'm not telling them it's just a dream. It's not a dream. I'm telling them that there is another experience of reality where it is all waves on the sea, and one can know the sea-ness where all the fighting and death, destruction and violence is somehow swept up and sweeping through in the clarity of that wholeness. And the worse this world gets, the more painful, sometimes the deeper we can go into that wholeness so that all the separation disappears. I gave the example of Shakyamuni Buddha last time, who on his deathbed, in great pain perhaps, is said to have gone into very profound states in which the world dropped away, his pain dropped away. And we can do that. But that's also not our Zen practice. Our Zen practice, as strange as it sounds, is to realize that world of wholeness and flowing and peace, without conflict, without tension, only clarity. It is to realize that even as we keep living in this world of problems and strife, wars and suffering children, disease and birth and death, even as we're here, we can know this other face is not too. And that is a koan that I would like to bring up today. It's from the book of Serenity. We looked at it in our recent reflections on the book of Serenity in our No Words book club. And it's case 94, Tozan's illness. Tozan, a great master, is ill. And as you've heard me say, illness is still illness. Nothing cures your cancer, nothing about Zen. You have to see the doctor for that. Nothing will cure your bad tooth. You have to go to the dentist. Well, it's true. Tozan is ill. Nothing about his Zen practice can prevent it. But yet, the koan goes like this. Tozan was ill. A monk, one of his students, asked him, Osho, that means great master, you're sick. Is there someone not sick? Tozan answered, yes, there is. And I'll tell you now, cutting to the chase, that's because Tozan knows this someone, this place, this what name we put on it cannot do it justice, where the waves are sick, the waves are healthy, but the ocean flows on and on. Then the monk asks, does this one who is not sick look after you? Does he protect you, nurse you, rescue you? Is it your refuge from this sickness? And Tozan replied, this old monk is able to look after others. The monk then asked, Osho, how about when you look after others? Then the having of sickness is not seen. Now, like many koan, I think there's a double entendre here. Tozan is sick, of course, but he knows this someone who is not sick. And this someone is his refuge, which protects him, saves him, nurses him, cures him, even as there is no cure, and he remains sick. But he says he knows this in the nursing, the care of others. And what can that mean? First, the Zen person finds freedom in saving all sentient beings, which means however great our own problems are, we look to bring peace, not just to ourselves, but to all beings. This is our vow. And we do that in very mundane ways. We bring them medicine. We provide them medical care. We give them a simple shoulder to cry on. We cook their lunch. We do what we can in this world to be a support for others. And that is one place where we find freedom from our own suffering. But there's one more meeting here too. You see, Tozan is saying that he knows the something, the someone, the wordless, beyond all suffering, even in this world of self and others. And the way we save sentient beings in our bodhisattva vows is to teach others this same wisdom too, which is what I'm trying to do right now for you. I made a vow. I'm just trying to fulfill it here, guys. You need to realize this realm, this place, this something beyond self and other, where there is no sickness, there is no war, there is no birth and death, there is no poverty because there is no lack. You need to realize, and you need to teach others to realize this so that they can know the same peace, the same freedom from fear. This is your vow. That is how you help the others. And also, even as you know this place where there is no war, even as you know this place where there is no hunger, even as you know this place where a child cannot suffer, even as you know this place where there is no sickness, you have the obligation to do what we can to end the wars in this world, to feed the hungry children, to nurse the sick, and to find the cures, to house the homeless. All of this is true, you see. We all know our true home, where no one can be homeless, and yet we have the obligation to house the homeless. We know the realm where nothing is lacking, and yet we have an obligation to feed the hungry. This koan is about knowing all of it, helping sentient beings by letting them know all of it, trying to cure the problems of this world we can, knowing the realm where there can be no problems, none at all. Let's sit. We will now recite the verse of atonement and the 4 vows.
All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind. Now I atone for them all. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable.
Lovely. Can you guys hear our cicadas chirping out there? It's that time of year. Yeah, the little what do we say? Cicada, I think, right?
Cicadas.
Huh?
Cicadas?
Cicada. I say cicada, you say cicada. Cicadas, boy, it's that time of year. They're teaching much more than my, 20-minute talk over there. They're doing the real teaching over there. We're going to have tea if anyone wants to stick around and chat. Otherwise, see the rest of you guys later. And please have a good dream of life this week. I'll see you later. Love you all, guys. Beyond, we got to here. That's our next project.
Your microphone is doing some really weird stuff.
Okay. Let's get this. Let's see. Over here.